Rejection only hurts when approval is your oxygen. What if you learn to breathe on your own? You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you are trying to be accepted. What if the very people you are trying to please are the reason you feel invisible? Imagine waking up each day, measuring your worth by reactions, likes, approval, subtle nods of validation, and slowly losing your own voice. Here is the truth, Buddhism whispers, but few dare to live. The moment your value depends on others, your peace is no longer yours. He who seeks approval surrenders authority over his own mind. Look at your life. How often do you silence yourself to stay accepted? Your doorway to calm, clarity, and timeless Buddhist insight. Stay until the end. There is a powerful bonus lesson waiting. Watch closely, because after this, you will never need to search again for how to value yourself. Approval is a beautiful cage. Why does chasing love make you feel unloved? You bow before faces that change like clouds, and you call this humility. Yet inside, a quiet voice asks, "Who am I when no one is watching?" The answer feels distant because your mind has been trained to look outward for worth. This is the first suffering of the modern soul. The moment your happiness depends on applause, you hand strangers the keys to your inner kingdom. Their praise becomes your sunlight, their silence becomes your winter. And slowly, without noticing, you forget how to stand without their warmth. When you live for their approval, you die by their rejection. Approval is a beautiful cage. It is polished with compliments. It is admired by many, yet it still locks your spirit. You decorate the bars with achievements, likes, and titles. And still, the heart whispers, "This is not freedom." Close your eyes and imagine standing in a cage made of mirrors. Every mirror reflects who they want you to be. Now watch the mirrors fall. Notice the silence. Feel how wide the sky feels when no one is watching. This is the first taste of self-worth. The teacher once said, "Approval is a subtle addiction." Freedom begins the day you withdraw. You do not need to rebel. You do not need to explain. Simply withdraw your hunger. Let praise arrive like wind on your skin, and let criticism pass like rain on stone. Neither defines the mountain. Ask yourself gently, who are you trying to impress right now? What decision have you delayed because of someone's opinion? If no one judged you, what would you choose today? Let these questions sit in your mind like lanterns in the dark. Here is the quiet practice. Each morning, choose one action that honors your truth, not their expectation. Speak one sentence that feels honest. Rest one moment without seeking permission. This is how a strong mind is trained through small, sovereign acts. You may notice fear rising. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of losing connection. But understand this reversal. The more you value yourself, the more authentic your connections become. Those who stay will see your real face. Those who leave were loving a mask. At the end, I will reveal a mindset shift that dissolves this fear completely. But for now, feel this realization. When you stop asking the world who you are, the world loses its power over you. Tonight, breathe slowly and remember this line. A mind that values itself is a temple no opinion can enter. 2. Detach without turning cold. If you ignore everyone, will you become heartless? This question trembles in many minds. You fear that distance means coldness, that boundaries mean cruelty. Yet the wise heart knows this is not true. Detachment is not closing your heart. It is opening your eyes. You have been taught to drown in others' emotions to prove love. You absorb their anxiety, their anger, their expectations, until your inner sky becomes crowded with storms that were never yours. This is not compassion, this is confusion. Detachment is disciplined perception. It is the art of loving without losing yourself. You listen, but you do not dissolve. You care, but you do not collapse. Clarity feels like distance to those who live in chaos. A lotus grows in muddy water, yet its petals remain untouched. It does not hate the mud. It simply does not become the mud. In the same way, you can live among noise, judgment, and emotion, yet remain unstained in your center. Imagine standing in heavy rain, yet your skin remains dry. Emotions fall around you, praise, blame, desire, fear, but they pass through the air, not through your soul. Feel how spacious this is. This is emotional sovereignty. Ask yourself quietly, where are you absorbing emotions that are not yours? Do you confuse attachment with love? What would healthy distance look like in your life? One honest boundary, one calm refusal, one silent step back. Let these questions settle like leaves on still water. Here is a simple practice. When emotion rises, pause and name it. This is anger. This is sadness. This is excitement. Notice it like a cloud, not like a storm that owns the sky. This small pause is the beginning of freedom. You may worry that people will call you selfish. This is the turning point. When you become clear, those who thrive on chaos will feel abandoned, but those who seek truth will feel safer around you. Distance filters relationships. There is a hidden truth most never learn. When you detach, you do not lose love. You refine it. Love becomes a choice, not a chain. Presence becomes a gift, not an obligation. This is the reversal that awakens a strong mind. Hold this line in your breath tonight. I can love deeply and still stand untouched. Why do other people's words echo louder than your own truth? You hear a comment once, and it lives in your mind for years. A careless sentence becomes a silent ruler over your choices. This is how the mind becomes a public hall where anyone may speak. Every opinion you entertain reshapes your self-image. You invite strangers into the inner sanctuary and ask them to decorate your walls. Some paint wisdom, many leave stains. An undisciplined mind becomes public property, and peace becomes impossible. Not every knock deserves an open door. This is a quiet rule for a strong mind. Some knocks are guidance, some are noise, some are poison, wrapped in advice. Wisdom is knowing the difference without anger, without fear. Your mind is a monastery. It was built for silence, clarity, and insight. Yet you have allowed gossip, doubt, and comparison to walk barefoot across sacred floors. You have allowed echoes to replace stillness. This no longer feels like sanctuary. Picture a gate before your thoughts. With each inhale, close it gently against noise. Feel the hinges settle. With each exhale, release the voices that do not serve truth. Notice how silence begins to feel alive, not empty. Ask yourself slowly, what voices have you allowed to live rent-free in your mind? Which criticism still defines you? If your mind were sacred ground, who would you remove today, without hatred, without drama, simply with quiet authority? Here is a simple discipline. When a thought enters, ask, is this nourishing? If yes, bow and let it stay. If not, watch it leave like a guest who stayed too long. This practice is not forceful. It is firm, like a mountain that does not argue with the wind. You may realize that many voices in your head are not enemies. They are echoes of teachers, parents, friends, and strangers who spoke without knowing your path. Forgive them silently, but do not obey them blindly. Compassion does not require surrender. There is a turning point hidden in this teaching. When you guard your mind, creativity grows. Confidence becomes natural. Fear loses its microphone. Silence becomes guidance. This is why disciplined minds appear calm, even in chaos. At the end, you will feel a strange strength. A strength that does not shout, does not argue, does not seek permission. It simply stands. And when the world speaks, you listen only with wisdom. Hold this line tonight as a final bell in your mind. My mind is sacred ground, and I choose who may enter. 4. Stop explaining, start becoming. Why do you justify yourself to people who misunderstand you? You speak, you clarify, you defend, yet their minds remain closed. Each explanation drains a little of your power. Each justification places your worth in their hands. This is how strength leaks quietly. Strength begins the moment explanations end. The need to be understood is a subtle insecurity. You try to shape their perception, and in doing so, you shape yourself into something smaller. Those aligned with your path need no explanation. A mountain does not defend its height. It does not argue with the valley. It does not persuade the clouds. It simply stands, rooted, silent, undeniable. Your becoming must be like this, silent, steady, unarguable. See yourself as a mountain in fog. People walk around you, unsure of your form. Some misjudge your size. Some deny your presence. Let the fog misunderstand you. Remain unmoved. Feel how dignity grows when you stop explaining your existence. Ask yourself softly, who are you over-explaining yourself to? A friend who never listens? A family member who never sees you? A world that benefits from your doubt? What would silence communicate instead? What truth would your actions speak without words? Here is a quiet discipline. Before you explain, pause. Ask, is this for clarity or for approval? If it is for approval, breathe and remain silent. Let your actions be the language. Let consistency be your statement. You may fear being seen as distant or arrogant, but understand this reversal. When you stop explaining, you invite respect. When you stop defending, you reveal confidence. Those meant to walk with you will understand through your presence, not your speeches. There is a deeper teaching hidden here. When you explain yourself constantly, you live in reaction. When you stop, you live in creation. Reaction is noisy. Creation is quiet. The strong mind chooses quiet creation. Notice how peace grows when you do not argue with misunderstanding. Misinterpretation becomes harmless. Judgment becomes background sound. You begin to feel a subtle authority that does not need permission to exist. Let your life speak for you. Let your discipline speak. Let your kindness speak. Let your boundaries speak. When words end, truth becomes visible. Tonight, hold this line like a steady breath. I do not need to explain who I am. I am becoming, and that is enough. 5. Comparison is self-betrayal. Why does someone else's success make you feel smaller? You see their achievements and quietly shrink your own dreams. Their progress becomes a mirror of your doubt. This is the hidden wound of comparison. The belief that your path is only valuable when it looks like another's. Comparison is self-betrayal. In measuring your life against another, you abandon your own rhythm. The tree that envies another forgets its own roots, its own soil, its own quiet strength. You cannot bloom while measuring someone else's garden. Two stars never compete. One rises in the east, one in the west, each illuminating a different night. Yet the human mind forgets this cosmic truth. It demands sameness, and in doing so, loses wonder. Your life is not meant to mirror another sky. Imagine walking alone through your own forest path. The light filters differently here. The ground feels familiar beneath your feet. There is no race, no finish line, only presence. Feel the peace of moving without comparison, of growing without audience. Ask yourself gently, whose timeline are you secretly chasing? A friend who seems ahead, a stranger whose life looks perfect. What gift do you undervalue in yourself because it does not look like theirs? If life were not a competition, how would you move today? Here is a quiet discipline. When envy arises, bow to it and say, "This is not my path." Then return to one small step that is truly yours. Read one page, build one skill, rest one honest moment. This is how individuality is strengthened. You may notice a strange emptiness when comparison fades. This is the second wind, the turning point. Without rivals, without idols, you stand alone with your essence. It can feel lonely, but within that solitude, authenticity begins to breathe. There is a lesser-known truth hidden here. Comparison creates urgency, but urgency without alignment creates burnout. When you honor your own pace, energy returns. Creativity deepens. Peace becomes a companion, not a reward. Let others shine without dimming yourself. Their success is proof that possibility exists, not a verdict on your worth. When you celebrate them without self-judgment, you step out of invisible competition and into quiet dignity. Tonight, walk your path slowly. Feel the earth of your own story. Let other journeys pass like distant lanterns on another road. You do not need to follow them to be fulfilled. Hold this line in your breath as a vow. I bloom in my own season, and no other garden can replace my soil. Why do you treat mistakes as identity instead of instruction? You fall once, and you carve the fall into your name. You fail once, and you call yourself a failure. This is how a single moment becomes a lifetime sentence. The mind forgets that experience is a teacher, not a judge. Failure only destroys you if you personalize it. When you cling to it as proof of your worth, it becomes a tombstone. When you study it as a lesson, it becomes a teacher. The wound becomes wisdom when you stop calling it shame. A sword is forged by fire, not comfort. Soft metal bends. Heated metal becomes strong. In the same way, your errors heat the soul, revealing weak points, refining intention, sharpening awareness. Comfort does not shape character. Pressure does. See a cracked stone under heat. At first, it fractures. Then the heat reshapes it into something refined, something rare. Feel this in yourself. Each crack in your story holds the potential for strength if you stay in the fire with awareness. Ask yourself quietly, what failure still defines you? A career mistake, a relationship ending, a missed opportunity? What did it actually teach you about discipline, boundaries, humility, resilience? If that setback strengthened you, how would you act now? Here is a quiet discipline. When you fail, write one sentence of instruction, not judgment, not, I am weak, but I learned where I am weak. This shift turns suffering into training. This is how monks transform pain into practice. You may notice resistance. The ego wants perfection. It fears being seen as unfinished. But understand this reversal. Perfection stops growth, while failure keeps you alive to learning. The strong mind bows to lessons, not to pride. There is a deeper spiritual turning point here. Every mistake is a mirror. It shows you where attachment, fear, or illusion still lives. When you observe it without hatred, you free yourself from repeating the same cycle. Failure becomes a doorway, not a prison. Do not build identity from scars. Build identity from insight. Scars are reminders, but insight is liberation. When you stop worshipping success and stop fearing failure, you walk the middle path with steady clarity. Tonight, sit with your past errors like an old teacher beside a fire. Listen without defensiveness. Extract the lesson. Release the shame. Let gratitude replace regret. Hold this line as a silent mantra in your breath. My failures are my teachers, and I am still becoming. Why do you pray for change, but resist discipline? You sit quietly, wishing for transformation, yet you hesitate to take the first step. Hope feels sacred, but without movement, it becomes a soft escape from responsibility. The heart asks for miracles, while the hands remain still. Spiritual strength is not passive hope. It is calm effort rooted in belief. You trust the path, but you also walk it. You whisper prayers, and then you act in silence. Trust the divine, but move your feet. The river flows because it moves, not because it wishes. It does not sit on the mountain dreaming of the sea. It travels, stone by stone, day by day, carving its way through resistance. Faith without movement becomes a stagnant pool. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You cover it gently, you whisper blessings, yet if you never water it, it will never rise. Feel your hands returning each day, pouring water with quiet devotion. This is faith in motion. Ask yourself softly, where are you waiting instead of working? Do you confuse patience with avoidance? What action can you take today, in silence, without applause, without announcement, simply because it aligns with your truth? Here is a quiet discipline. Choose one sacred habit and treat it like prayer. Study, practice, train, reflect. Do it with the same reverence you bring to meditation. Effort becomes worship when done with awareness. You may fear that effort will make you tense, restless, unspiritual. This is the hidden misunderstanding. True effort is gentle. It is steady. It is not forced. It is a bow to your potential, repeated every day. There is a turning point many never reach. When faith walks with effort, doubt begins to fade. Confidence grows quietly. You stop begging life to change, and you start shaping it with mindful hands. Notice how effort changes your identity. You no longer feel like a leaf waiting for the wind. You become a traveler, choosing direction. Even small steps carry dignity when taken with intention. Reflect again. What would your life look like if belief and action moved together? What would your mornings feel like? Your work? Your relationships? When faith moves your feet, the path becomes visible under your steps. Tonight, place one seed in the soil of your future. Water it with discipline. Protect it with patience. Let it grow without needing praise. This is how a strong, disciplined mind is cultivated. Quietly, consistently, and with devotion. Hold this line in your breath as a vow to yourself. I trust deeply, and I walk daily. 8. Betrayed, forgive, and outgrow. Does holding anger protect you or chain you? When you are betrayed, the mind believes anger is armor. You replay the moment, polishing the wound, convincing yourself that resentment is justice. Yet each replay tightens the chain around your own heart. Resentment keeps you tied to the offender. You carry their presence in your thoughts, in your body, in your sleep. Forgiveness is not agreement. Forgiveness is release. Release them, and you release yourself. Carrying anger is holding hot coal to throw at another. You grip it tightly, waiting for the right moment. But the coal burns you first. The other may walk freely while you stay in pain, loyal to a memory that does not serve you. Picture dropping a burning stone from your hands. See it fall into the earth. Feel your palms cool. Notice how breath becomes lighter when you stop gripping the past. This is not weakness. This is wisdom in motion. Ask yourself quietly, who still occupies space in your anger? What would freedom feel like without that resentment? Can you grow beyond the betrayal, not by erasing it, but by outgrowing it? Let these questions sit like lanterns in the night. Here is a quiet practice. Write the story once, not to relive it, but to extract the lesson. Then close the page. Each time the memory returns, bow to it and say, "You taught me. Now I walk on." This is how suffering becomes clarity. You may fear that forgiveness erases justice. This is the reversal. Forgiveness does not cancel boundaries, it sharpens them. You can forgive and still walk away. You can release and still refuse repetition. Compassion does not require self-betrayal. There is a deeper turning point hidden here. When you forgive, you reclaim energy. Creativity returns. Presence returns. Your mind is no longer a courtroom, and your heart is no longer a battlefield. Silence becomes healing. Notice how identity shifts when anger dissolves. You stop being the wounded one. You become the one who healed. This is the subtle dignity of spiritual maturity. Growth does not erase the scar. It places the scar in a larger story. If betrayal shaped you, let it shape you into wisdom, not bitterness. Let it refine your discernment, not your cruelty. Let it deepen your compassion, not your distrust. This is the path of a strong, disciplined mind. Tonight, open your hands slowly. Drop the burning stone. Feel the cool air touch your palms. Walk forward without carrying the past like a shrine. The future needs both your hands free. Hold this line as a silent vow. I forgive to free myself, and I outgrow what tried to define me. 9. Disrespected. Walk away with dignity. Why argue for respect in rooms that deny it? You raise your voice, explain your worth, defend your name. Yet the room remains unchanged. Respect cannot be negotiated with those committed to misunderstanding. Arguing for dignity often dissolves it. Your silence can be louder than retaliation. When you refuse to react, the mind becomes a clear lake. Stones of insult fall, but the depth remains untouched. Dignity is the loudest response. A lion does not debate with barking dogs, not from arrogance, but from clarity. It knows its nature does not require approval from noise. In the same way, your value is not confirmed by argument, but by presence. See yourself walking calmly away from noise. Voices rise behind you. Accusations float through the air. You do not tighten. You do not turn. Feel the strength in restraint, the power of choosing peace over performance. Ask yourself quietly, where are you overreacting to prove yourself? Is your reaction shrinking or elevating you? What would calm confidence do instead? Pause, smile, withdraw, or simply remain unmoved? Let these questions echo without urgency. Here is a quiet discipline. When disrespected, take one slow breath before responding. If your words are meant to defend ego, remain silent. If your words are meant to clarify truth, speak gently. This is how a strong mind distinguishes noise from necessity. You may fear that walking away looks like weakness. This is the reversal. Those who need chaos will call silence weakness. Those who seek wisdom will recognize it as mastery. Power that shouts is uncertain. Power that leaves is certain. There is a deeper spiritual turning point here. When you stop chasing respect, you begin to embody it. Your posture changes, your choices simplify. You stop shrinking to fit rooms that were never meant to hold your spirit. Notice how dignity reshapes your relationships. Some will feel distant, some will feel inspired, some will fall away. This is not loss, this is alignment. When you walk with dignity, only those who honor dignity can walk with you. If insult visits your door, you are not required to invite it in. You can bow, close the door, and return to silence. Silence is not surrender. Silence is sovereignty. Tonight, imagine your steps moving away from unnecessary conflict. Feel the ground steady beneath your feet. Feel the spine upright without tension. Rewritten script. Let restraint become your quiet crown. Hold this line in your breath as a final bell of strength. I walk away with dignity, and my silence speaks the truth. Underestimated? Let results speak. Why prove your worth with words instead of work? When you are underestimated, the mind wants to speak, to correct, to defend its value. Yet words fade quickly, while actions carve truth into time. Silence is not absence. Silence is preparation. Silence plus consistency becomes unstoppable. You do not need to announce your discipline. You do not need to broadcast your growth. Each quiet step becomes a root that anchors you deeper into purpose. Let your progress disturb them. Bamboo grows unseen for years before rising tall overnight. For a long time, nothing appears above the soil, but beneath the surface, roots spread wide and strong. When the moment comes, the growth is sudden, undeniable, impossible to ignore. Your life can grow like this. Imagine building quietly in darkness. No applause, no validation, only the sound of your own breath and effort. Then feel the breakthrough moment when light touches what you built in silence. This is the reward of unseen discipline. Ask yourself softly, where can you focus instead of defending? What habit will shape your next year? Study, health, skill, stillness. If you stopped announcing your plans, what would you accomplish in the privacy of your own commitment? Here is a quiet discipline. Each day, complete one action that moves you forward without telling anyone. Let secrecy sharpen sincerity. Let solitude deepen discipline. This is how monks turn ordinary days into sacred training. You may feel invisible during this process. This is the turning point. Invisibility is fertile ground. When no one is watching, ego relaxes and authenticity grows. Underestimation becomes protection, not insult. There is a deeper spiritual reversal here. When you seek recognition, you depend on other people's eyes. When you seek mastery, you depend on your own practice. Recognition is fragile. Mastery is unshakable. Notice how confidence changes when it is built quietly. It does not boast. It does not argue. It simply acts. People sense it without explanation, like feeling the presence of a mountain without seeing it clearly. Reflect again. Whose approval are you no longer chasing? What would your day look like if no one knew your progress except you? How would your mornings feel, your evenings settle, your mind steady? Let results be your language. Let discipline be your signature. Let patience be your companion. When the world finally notices, you will already be far ahead, walking without noise. Tonight, imagine your roots spreading silently beneath the surface of your life. Feel them anchor into purpose, resilience, and clarity. Let the outer world remain unaware while your inner world becomes unbreakable. Hold this line in your breath as a vow of quiet power. I build in silence, and my growth will speak for me. Be forgotten. Forget them. Why fear being unseen? You tremble at the thought of being forgotten, as if invisibility erases existence. Yet the mind that is unseen is often the mind that is most free. When no one is watching, pressure dissolves and purpose becomes clear. Being unnoticed is power. It removes the stage, the masks, and the exhausting performance of identity. In obscurity, you are released from comparison, expectation, and judgment. Obscurity is fertile soil for greatness. The seed grows underground long before the tree is admired. No one praises it while it breaks through darkness. No one celebrates its struggle to find water. Yet this hidden work decides the strength of the tree that will one day touch the sky. Imagine yourself beneath the soil, quiet, unseen. Feel the earth surrounding you, heavy yet protective. Sense your roots stretching slowly, carefully, seeking nourishment. This darkness is not punishment. This darkness is preparation. Ask yourself gently, do you crave visibility more than growth? What could you build privately, without announcing, without proving, without performing? Who are you without an audience, without applause, without observers? Let these questions settle into stillness. Here is a quiet discipline. Choose one area of your life to grow in secrecy. Do not share progress. Do not seek validation. Let the work be between you and your breath. This secrecy is not fear. It is sacred focus. You may feel the ego protest. It will say, if no one sees me, I do not exist. This is the turning point. When you stop needing witnesses, existence becomes intimate. You feel your own presence without reflection. This is true self-awareness. There is a deeper reversal hidden here. Being forgotten by the crowd allows you to remember yourself. When noise fades, intuition rises. When attention disappears, direction becomes clear. Solitude becomes guidance, not loneliness. Notice how creativity deepens in quiet obscurity. You experiment without fear. You fail without humiliation. You grow without interruption. The world forgets you, and in that forgetting, you find yourself fully. Reflect again. What would you create if no one could judge it? A skill, a philosophy, a life rhythm. What would your days look like if performance ended and authenticity began? Let obscurity be your training ground. Let silence be your mentor. Let invisibility be your shield. When the world finally notices, you will already be rooted, grounded, and unshakable. Tonight, imagine resting beneath the soil of your own becoming. Feel the quiet strength of roots spreading into unseen depths. Trust that growth is happening, even without witnesses. Hold this line in your breath as a vow of inner sovereignty. I am content unseen, and I grow where no one is watching. Bonus. Value yourself, change everything. What happens when you truly ignore the noise? When your worth becomes internal, rejection loses its sting. Insults fade like echoes in a valley. Comparison loses its grip. Detachment stops feeling cold and begins to feel like peace. You no longer chase approval. You choose alignment. The moment you value yourself, the world adjusts. People sense when you no longer beg for validation. They feel when your boundaries are rooted in quiet certainty. Some will respect you more. Some will feel threatened. Both are signs that your center has grown stronger. When a candle stands firm, the wind learns to move around it. It does not fight the wind. It does not beg the wind to be gentle. It simply burns steadily. Your self-worth must become this flame. Present, steady, not dependent on conditions. See yourself as a steady flame in darkness. The night moves. Voices rise and fall. Opinions swirl like passing gusts. Yet your flame remains. Feel the warmth of self-respect inside your chest, constant and silent. This is what it means to be unshaken. Ask yourself softly, what would change if your worth were unquestionable? How would you speak? How would you work? How would you love? Who would you become if fear of opinion no longer guided your choices? Here is the quiet discipline that changes everything. Each day, make one decision based on self-respect, not approval. Rest when tired. Leave when disrespected. Persist when aligned. This is how internal value becomes lived reality. You may feel the world resist this shift. Some will test your boundaries. Some will question your calm. This is the turning point. When you stop outsourcing your value, others can no longer control your emotional weather. There is a deeper spiritual truth hidden here. Self-worth is not arrogance. It is alignment with reality. When you see yourself clearly, neither inflated nor reduced, suffering decreases. You stop bargaining for existence. You simply exist. Notice how your mind changes when value is internal. Productivity becomes focused, not frantic. Relationships become chosen, not clung to. Detachment becomes kindness without self-erasure. Your thoughts become quieter, your presence stronger. Reflect again. Are you ready to stop outsourcing your value? Ready to stop asking others who you are? Ready to let silence, discipline, and clarity define you instead of praise and criticism? This is the final turning point of a strong mind. When you value yourself, the world becomes a place to walk through, not a mirror to beg from. You move with calm authority, disciplined thoughts, and steady purpose. Hold this final line like a vow in your breath. I value myself, and the world must meet me at this level. Quick summary. Approval is a beautiful cage. Seeking approval weakens identity and creates emotional dependency. Living for validation hands control of your peace to others. Rejection only hurts deeply when worth is outsourced. True strength begins when approval is no longer required. Detach without turning cold. Detachment is emotional discipline, not indifference. You can care deeply without losing yourself. Clarity allows love without possession. Inner balance protects compassion from becoming self-sacrifice. Guard the monastery of your mind. Unfiltered opinions shape your self-concept without you noticing. Mental strength requires boundaries around what you absorb. Not every criticism deserves to be internalized. Peace grows when the mind is selectively disciplined. Stop explaining, start becoming. Over-explaining reveals subtle insecurity. Not everyone is meant to understand your path. Silence often communicates confidence more strongly than words. Let results define you instead of arguments. Comparison is self-betrayal. Comparison distracts you from your unique journey. Another person's progress does not reduce yours. Self-worth declines when life becomes a race. Growth speeds up when focus returns inward. Failure is a teacher, not a tombstone. Mistakes refine character when accepted as lessons. Failure is feedback, not identity. Growth requires discomfort and correction. Resilience turns setbacks into preparation. Faith must walk with effort. Belief without action creates stagnation. Discipline gives structure to spiritual trust. Consistent effort grows silently over time. Faith becomes powerful when paired with responsibility. Betrayed, forgive and outgrow. Resentment extends emotional suffering. Forgiveness releases inner tension first. Growth requires letting go of emotional revenge. Freedom begins when bitterness ends. Disrespected. Walk away with dignity. Not every conflict deserves engagement. Calm withdrawal protects self-respect. Reaction often weakens authority. Dignity protects long-term strength. Underestimated, let results speak. Proving yourself through words wastes energy. Consistency builds undeniable credibility. Silence strengthens focus. Achievement dissolves doubt naturally. Be forgotten, forget them. Seeking visibility can distract from mastery. Privacy nurtures growth without pressure. True confidence does not depend on recognition. Greatness often develops unnoticed. Value yourself. Change everything. Self-worth stabilizes emotions and decisions. When value is internal, rejection loses power. Boundaries become natural rather than forced. Life shifts when identity becomes self-defined. Ignoring everyone is not rebellion, it is reclamation. It is the moment you stop negotiating your worth with the world. Zen philosophy teaches that suffering begins when the mind clings to approval and ends when it returns to stillness. The strong mind is not aggressive, it is anchored. When you value yourself, you stop reacting to noise and start responding from clarity. In the absence of attachment, there is freedom. This is the discipline of inner peace. Work quietly, improve steadily, detach gracefully, and let your presence speak without explanation. If this message resonated with you, like and share this video. Share your opinion in the comment box for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful life. Before you go, ask yourself, if no one's opinion could shake you, who would you become?